It's been like a year since I did my last pedicure routine. Now in that video, I did a dry manicure or like a machine manicure using an e-file. So I'm basically taking it back to basics. So today I'm going to show you how to do a simple pedicure. So let's get started. Now, disclaimer, my feet don't normally look like this. This is a judgment-free zone. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to soak your feet. And I just happened to come across this tub on Amazon, which I like because it's collapsible. So it saves room, and when you get older you appreciate things like that because we ain't got no space. But also feel free to go to Target and just buy this in the kitchen section, which only costs you $1.99. And while you can just use warm water, ideally adding other things to it is going to be more beneficial. And usually my go-to is apple cider vinegar if I don't have anything else, so I will add that to my water, or you can just use Epsom salt. This one is actually the mustard soak that I used in the first video. I do find that some type of sodium or acid is going to actually help break down the dead skin faster. Or you can even take this opportunity to use the facial and bath tea that I made in the DIY self-care routine video. You want to soak your feet for like at least 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how bad they are. If they're not too bad, then you can do less. But if they are more like mine, then you might want to do more. So then I'm going to take this callus remover. This I also picked up on Amazon. As you guys know, I generally use the Diamond Cell number 20, but I wanted to find an alternative for you guys that was a little bit more affordable. And this one is great because it actually is dual-sided. So it comes with one side that's more coarse and the other side that's more fine. And the files are actually removable. So it comes with replacement stickers for each side. I think about 5 of them. The thing that I like about the Diamond Cell though is that I don't have to worry about any of that because it is sanitizable, so I can just keep using the same thing over and over again, and I don't have to keep buying replacements and, you know, creating more waste. I think you guys get the drill. You just, lightly file. You don't want to put too much pressure on your skin. So you do want to stop periodically and just kind of check your progress. And a good indication that you are actually done with a specific area is that the skin will be nice and pink. The color is an indication that there is blood flow to the surface of the skin. So that means that you have reached healthy soft tissue. Usually at that point or even slightly before is when I will turn my file over to the finer side and just kind of go lightly over the foot. And basically what this is doing is essentially polishing the skin. So because you've used a file that's so coarse, you want to take down the grittiness so that you're not left with anything kind of jagged or rough. This dust is a product of my feet actually being too dry. This is just kind of something that happened because it takes me time to set up the camera and stuff like that, nor was I able to actually soak my foot for that long. However, after I re-soaked it, I have a much different result. The skin will actually come off much easier, and it'll even make this process a little bit cleaner because since the skin is full of water, it's heavier. It will just drop to the floor rather than flying around in the air and landing on your clothes, your hand, and everywhere else. Notice the difference between soaking your feet for a long time versus soaking your feet for a short period of time. My second foot, which was still in the water the entire time that I was doing my first, you'll see that the callus has actually turned white, which is exactly what you want, and how you can easily identify what skin is dead and what's not. In fact, the skin is so ready to come off that even if I just rub it with my finger, you'll see that it balls up and it removes itself. So I'm not sure exactly how long my foot was sitting here, but let's just say it was like 15 to 20 minutes. So yeah, basically soak your feet as long as you possibly can. Here I had to be a little bit quicker because I was fighting daylight. And if you're not able to get all of your dead skin off at one time, it's fine. You can do this every few days if you want to, especially in the summertime because this is the perfect way to keep up with sandal weather. Now, since my soles are the most work, that's why I do them first to kind of get them out of the way. And also it gives adequate time for you to soften your cuticles. It seems like a lot of people are not comfortable with pushing their cuticles back because it actually hurts, and that shouldn't happen. So if you're soaking for a good amount of time, you will eliminate that discomfort because you've actually allowed the cuticle to lift from the natural nail. I'm using this tool, which is a cuticle stone. It's basically like a pumice stone, but specifically in a perfect shape for pushing back your cuticles, sitting really nicely into the lateral folds and proximal nail fold. So if you're a beginner and you have a lot of dead skin, but not comfortable with cutting it, then you can use something like this because as you can see, it gets rid of a lot. Or you could just use a regular cuticle pusher. This one I found at Five Below for like $3, and I like it because the other side has this little spoon-shaped end. So this is perfect for going underneath the free edge to clean under your nail, but you can also even use this side as a cuticle pusher as well. So you can see that it really helps lift any dead skin off of the nail plate and make sure that I'm just like freeing up all of that extra tissue where my proximal nail fold is. So just to reiterate, if it is white and or very translucent, then it is likely dead tissue and can be removed. And I know a lot of people find this controversial, but like I said, I do get a lot of dead skin, so I do prefer a cuticle cutter to get rid of everything. Now, also in my first video, I didn't actually trim my toenails, and I did get some questions about how I achieve this shape. So what I do is, if they're long enough, I will take a straight jaw nail clipper, or I will just take a old pair of cuticle cutters. So these are not the ones that I actually use on my cuticles, and I use that to get a really straight free edge. Then I will go in with a fine grit file. This is a 240, and I will clean up that edge a little bit, but also go along the side walls to make sure those are nice and straight and at a 90-degree angle. And then I will just lightly soften the corners so that I don't have really sharp edges, because we don't want to be tearing through socks. That ain't cute. Something totally optional, just as a final step, I like to go in with my ORG mineral pill. If you've been following this channel for a while, you know I absolutely love this stuff. It's been years now, and this is my ride or die, and I just take this just to go as a final exfoliation. I do this on the bottoms and the tops of the feet. I will even go up my legs. So if you don't have this product or anything similar, you can just use a scrub, but really it is optional. So here I'm taking my sugar paste, which is a little firm, so I'm just kind of kneading it in my hands to warm it up, and then I'm going to use this to wax the hair on my toes. And the reason that I do this and I don't just like shave it is because you can always see like little black dots where the hair is kind of just sitting right under the skin. And if you guys want to know how I sugar, then that video is probably popping up on the screen right now, but I'll also list it in the description box, and I'll also list my video on how to make this sugar wax if you want to make it yourself. So now that we have gotten rid of all of that, we have exfoliated, we now need to rehydrate the skin. So while my feet are still damp, I'm going to take some jojoba oil and apply that directly to the nail and the surrounding skin. And yes, you can substitute this for any oil that you would like. The only thing I don't recommend is baby oil, because that's not actually oil. And then for the rest of my skin, I'm going to take my soothing balm, which I also DIY'd. I'm adding a couple of drops of the jojoba oil, but that's totally optional. And just in case you're curious, the reason I'm using this is because I want something thick, like a butter or a balm, that's actually going to just sit on top of the skin and really hold the moisture into my feet. And at this point, I would actually wrap my feet in saran wrap like I did in the first video. As you guys probably noticed in the beginning, I broke the corner of my toenail. So because they are shorter than I would normally like for them to be, this is when I would normally go for a nude, because it kind of camouflages that the shape isn't perfectly square. And here I'm using a color from Bernadette Thompson. This is Cashmere, and at the moment this is literally like the perfect brown girl nude for me. As a matter of fact, this brand is Black owned. And the crazy thing is, I've had this polish for a while. Now you guys can't tell because I shook it up before so that it would look more even, but really there's only half of this bottle left, and the application of it is still so freaking smooth. Like, I don't understand how it's not streaky or lumpy or anything. So needless to say, I will be purchasing more. Hashtag not sponsored, because this is only one coat, guys. I was even actually thinking about maybe trying an extension, so if that's something you guys would be interested in, just let me know. So yeah, that's it. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe, because I am thinking about doing like some more pedicure videos. I thought it might be fun to just do like more of a nail art series on the feet, because it's about to be sandal season, y'all, and like I always got a pair. I already have a ton in my wish list, and I know you guys liked the ones in my last video that were from free people. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.